Welcome to Purpose Unlocked, the podcast where dreamers, doers, and changemakers like you break free from the ordinary and build legacies that matter. I'm Christy Smith, business coach, author of The Intuitive Entrepreneur, and your guide to unlocking the purpose-driven life and business you were born for. If you've ever felt like you were meant for more impact, more purpose, more freedom, then you're in the right place. Each week, we dive deep into the mindset, strategies, and real-world stories of purpose-driven entrepreneurs, creatives, and visionaries who refuse to settle. It's time to break the rules, challenge the status quo, and turn your vision into reality. So are you ready? Let's do this. Today, we're tackling a big challenge for so many entrepreneurs. That's marketing consistency. We all know marketing is essential, but let's be real. Most people struggle to stay consistent. Maybe you start strong, but then life happens, you get busy, or you lose motivation. So today, we're diving into how to create a marketing strategy that you can actually stick with, one that feels doable, aligned, and effective. So let's go. Before we talk about what works, let's talk about what doesn't. Because if you've struggled with marketing in the past, I guarantee it's because of one of these 4 reasons. First one is it's not sustainable. You're trying to do too much, too fast, and you're burning out. Number 2, it's not aligned. You're forcing strategies that don't feel natural. Number 3, it's not clear. You're posting randomly without a strategy or goal. And number 4, it's overwhelming. Too many platforms, too many tactics, and not enough focus. Okay? The key to marketing you can stick with is simplicity, alignment, and consistency. So one of the biggest mistakes I see is people trying to do everything at once. They want to be on Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn, YouTube, and writing a blog and starting podcasts and sending emails every week. That's a one-way ticket to burnout. Instead, focus on your marketing minimum. This is the absolute simplest strategy you can commit to consistently. So here's what you need to ask yourself. What's the one, and that's one, platform where my ideal clients are most active? What's the one content format I actually enjoy creating? Right? Is that videos? Is that writing? Is that audio? One of them. What's the least amount of marketing I can do and still stay visible? Okay. So maybe that's one Instagram post and one email per week. Plenty of businesses can do that, right? Maybe it's 2 blog posts per month and a weekly LinkedIn post. Maybe it's 1 podcast episode and then repurposing the clips on social media. Right? Answer those questions for yourself, and then you're going to start there. Once that feels easy, you can add more, but we need to have that minimum as your starting point. Okay. Here's something that no one talks about. You don't have to do marketing the way everyone else does. You need to build a strategy that fits you, your energy, your strengths, and your business model. Think about this. Do you love being on camera? Double down on your video content. Do you love writing? Focus on blogging and email marketing. Do you love speaking? Podcasting or live video might be your thing. If the marketing feels hard, it's probably because you're doing it in a way that doesn't fit your strengths. So let's make it easier for you, right? I've talked in the past about how I don't like being on camera. I do when I'm like teaching a group or a class, but not just for random stuff. So you're not going to see me videos. I don't do my podcast as a video because that's just not something that I enjoy, right? I love writing. That's why I blog. I do email marketing. I love speaking. That's why I do this podcast. But video is just not the thing for me. So, right? Like, what are your things? Now you got to tailor it for you and your business. Okay. So consistency isn't about doing more. It's about building habits. And the easiest way to stay consistent is create a repeatable system. So here's a simple system that you can use. There's 4 steps to it, all right? So step 1 is choose 2 to 3 content pillars. Those are your go-to topics, right? Those are the ones that you can easily create content without overthinking. Like you don't have to do a bunch of research. You don't have to go down rabbit holes. These are the ones that you can talk about with anybody and you just know the information, right? Those are your go-to topics. So if you were a business coach like I am, maybe it's mindset for entrepreneurs, simple business growth strategies, client success stories. Those are can be my go-tos, right? What are your go-tos for your industry and your business? And the ones that you like talking about, because that makes it easier. Step 2, batch your content. Set aside 1 to 2 days per month to create your content in batches. This saves time and keeps you ahead. I'm doing that right now as I'm recording this. This morning, I posted my social media posts, or I scheduled them out for the entire month of April. I wrote all of my weekly emails already, and they're scheduled. I wrote my blog posts, and they're scheduled to go out for the entire month. I'm currently working on my podcast, and then I schedule them, and they just all post like they're supposed to. So you don't have to be like, hey, I've got to do it this way. Batch it, get it done, get it over with, and then you can move on because it just saves you time. All right. Step number 3, repurpose everything. Okay. So if you write a blog, that you can turn that content into multiple social media posts. One podcast can be your email content, your short clips on Instagram. A video, you can post snippets onto TikTok, LinkedIn, or Facebook. Okay. Another thing when you're talking about repurposing content is I have a theme for the entire month. And that theme for that entire month, I'm writing the content for my blog posts, my podcasts, my weekly emails, my social media, everything is on that theme. So that way it makes it easier for me, kind of in that batch and your content sort of flow. It just makes everything easier, right? Because I'm already thinking down this path and I'm just creating all of my content off of that theme. And step 4 is something I already mentioned, but I kind of got ahead of myself, but it's schedule and automate it. Use scheduling tools to plan the posts in advance, and this keeps you consistent without having to be online 24/7. Like I said, I am scheduling out everything today for the entire month of April, and then I don't have to worry about it the rest of the month. Everything will just go, it will post, and I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so one of the biggest reasons people get stuck in marketing is that they keep doing things that aren't working. So instead of trying to do everything, track what actually brings in results and double down on that. So every month, I do this myself, ask yourself, what content got the most engagement? What actually led to sales? And what feels easiest to create? Then simplify and optimize. Marketing is about experimenting and not just finding a rigid plan. So what works for me, what works for the person down the road, what works for your friend who's also in business isn't necessarily going to work for you, but you're going to have to experiment. And the other thing that comes with experimenting is there's new platforms coming out all the time. There's going to be shifts in these things. Facebook might not be the thing forever, even though that is one of the biggest social media platforms that there is. It can shift to Instagram, it could shift to TikTok, it could shift to whatever. Just realize there is going to be some experimenting and optimizing along the way. Okay, so let's recap. How do you create a marketing strategy you can actually stick with? Number 1 was simplify your strategy. Focus on your marketing minimum instead of trying to do it all. Number 2, play to your strengths. Do marketing in a way that feels natural and easy. Number 3, create a system. Use the content pillars, batching, and repurposing to make marketing effortless. And number 4, track what works. Let go of what's not bringing results and double down on what is. So your action step is to choose, the first action step you need is to choose your marketing minimum and commit to doing that for the next 30 days. Keep it simple, keep it doable, and then what do? We've got to be tracking it. And then you can figure out what you need to double down for the next 30 days to 60 days after that. Okay, so that gives you 3 months to kind of dial in your process. That's a wrap on this episode of Purpose Unlocked, but your journey is just beginning. If today's conversation sparked something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, tag me, and let's keep this movement growing. For more insights, tools, and resources to fuel your purpose-driven journey, grab a copy of my book, The Intuitive Entrepreneur, at christysmithcoaching.com/book-intuitive. And if you're ready to take your vision to the next level, let's connect. Follow me on social media, subscribe to this channel, and join the community of rebels, dreamers, and impact makers just like you. Until next time, keep challenging the norm, trusting your intuition, and building a legacy you were born for. Let's unlock purpose together.